friends, and welcome to another video here today at Paul Sawyer Public Library. My name is Grace, and today I'm going to be doing some upcycled art with you. And what we are making today is a egg carton mermaid. So to begin, I'm going to show you what you're going to need for this project. So first of all, the most important thing you're going to need is an old egg carton at home. It can be styrofoam or paper, whatever you have is perfect for this project. You will need one solid color of paint and some white paint. So a color of your choice and then white paint. We're gonna mix that later to create a gradient effect for our mermaid tail. You will need some tape. You will need a sponge brush or a regular paintbrush, and you will need a pair of scissors. So those are the things you need for this project. To get started, the first thing you're gonna do, and I've already done it, is you need to draw your mermaid. So you can see here, she looks kind of silly because she's missing her tail, but I drew the top part of my mermaid and I drew her tail. To make her tail, I did 2 teardrop shapes and I put them together upside down. And I even gave her a crown. So that's how you're going to draw that, and you can do that with crayons, colored pencils, markers, whatever you like. So once you have that, you're gonna cut it out, and it will look like this. So this is another mermaid I already made. So go ahead and set that aside. And our next step is we are going to cut out our egg carton and get it ready to paint. So you can make your tail as long as you want. I made a 6 egg carton shell, so I'm gonna cut these out. It's super easy to cut. You probably need just a little stronger scissors, so make sure you talk to your grown-up before you start cutting out. They cut pretty easily. Just like that. All right, so I kind of have like an uneven shape. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna shape around and get it a little bit flatter on the bottom. If you like the kind of rough look, you want kind of like a more wild mermaid, you can keep the rough edges, but I kind of like it smoother. So I'm gonna trim up these edges with my scissors. Just kind of go around. It's pretty quick. So there's one done. I'm going to do the rest. Oh, I missed a little spot in the sky. Keep going around. Okay, let's sweep my crumbs over here. So now I have my 6 little pieces of my tail. I'm gonna stack up together like this to make our tail like that. So over here, I have already mixed my paint. As you can see here, I've gone from darkest to lightest in paint color. And how you do that is you start with your solid color, then you add a little bit of white as you go along until you get to the very end where it's the lightest color it can be. Be kind of hard to see, but it's like a light teal. So I'm gonna paint these with my sponge brush. I'm gonna start with my lightest and work my way over. Just hold it like this. It doesn't need too many coats because they're going to be layered. Just going to work my way through. Just got one down. I'm going to let it dry. gonna go to my next darkest color. My next one, ooh, missed a spot. Right there. All right. Go to my next one. As you can see, it's starting to get darker. Now I'm ready for my next one. All right, now we're almost there. We got two more. All right, my final one is going to be that original teal color I picked out. So it's darker. And I'll show you in a minute the difference between my first one and my last one. You can really see the contrast. And it's okay if you get a little bit of paint on your hands, so we'll wash off later. I always get a little paint on my hands when I'm painting. Okay, so I'm gonna hold up this guy next to this guy so you can see there's a big difference. So what that is called is a gradient, which means we've graded a little bit of white into every one of these colors to create that effect. So I'm gonna set this aside and let it dry overnight, and then I'm gonna make my green mermaid tomorrow. And I'm going to show you how to assemble our mermaid. All right, friends, I am back. I washed that green paint off my hands, and now I'm ready to assemble my mermaid. So first thing, I let my eggshells or my egg cartons dry overnight. And when you stack them up together, this is a purple mermaid tail, you can see the color gradient. So that's really cool. And next step, I am going to poke these with, this is a bookbinding tool called an awl. My coworker Jenny let me borrow it, so shout out to Jenny. You can use this, you can use like a skewer. This is probably a step you want to have a grown up for. So what I'm gonna do, and I've already done it to get these ready, is you just gently poke a hole through the middle of each carton, or each piece of the egg carton. And then if you can see the light there, then that is gonna leave room to string a piece of yarn through to attach it all together. So I have already prepared for this a little bit. So what I did is on one side of your string, you are going to put a little piece of tape on, and you are going to attach it to your tail. Just like that. So now we have the bottom of our mermaid tail right there. Then you are going to put a little bit of tape at the top around the edge. It's about 1 centimeter or 1/2 inch. And what this does is it just makes it easier to thread yarn. It's a little, it comes apart at the end, so it's easier to string through things if you just add a little bit of tape. That's just what I have always done with yarn. So now that I have my tail and have a little bit of tape on there, I'm going to assemble my mermaid tail. And I think that I want to go lightest to darkest. So I'm gonna go just like that. Got my first one. You just want to find that hole. So that's why I put tape on there, to help me find that hole best. All right, next one. Next one. And then our final one. So there we have it. We have a mermaid tail so far. So another fun thing you can do, you can draw whatever you want to attach this to the top. Maybe you want a shark mermaid or you just want to make a fish. You can do that as well. It's whatever you want to draw on top. I have already drawn a mermaid, so I'm gonna go ahead, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna, if you can see here, I'm gonna add a piece of tape to the back to attach her on there. And you can use any kind of tape that you have at your house. If you prefer a stapler, you can use a stapler. I don't think a glue stick or Elmer's glue would really work for the yarn. I think it would be a little too messy, but you can always improvise to use whatever you have at home. So here she is. I'm going to attach her on there. I'm going to add a little bit more to make her a little more stable. Okay, so there she is. My final step, I took another piece of yarn and I just did a knot at the end and I made a loop just like that. And I'm going to tape this to the top so I can hang up my mermaid if I want to hang her up later, which I think I do. I'm excited for her to have a friend tomorrow when my paint dries. So I'm going to make the other mermaid to show. All right, and there she is. She's our little mermaid. You can see her. She's ready to swim in the ocean and have lots of fun. If you make your own mermaid, go ahead and share that with us in the comments. We would love to see your mermaids, and I hope you have a wonderful day and happy crafting. Bye.